When you put crypto and sports together, people, size does matter. And now we're not talking about just like a few 100,000 people, but this project has partnered with like say a trifecta of teams. Because GameOn, they got LaLiga, PFL, and Karate Combat right off the bat. And they're doing something pretty massive with them in terms of the collaboration. So it's not like a petty small partnership, but they're building actual games, and they're building those games up from a ground two, like from a Web2 foundation, which is quite important. So including as many people as possible, running on fantasy sports, getting them involved, and then introducing that audience to NFTs, to crypto, to their overall token with games. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about GameOn. They're actually launching next week, so very, very soon. And I see this potential to be, I hate to draw analogies in crypto, but I see this like almost like a Chili's level, right? Like Chili's brought a huge number of teams and sports teams into crypto. I see GameOn doing the same thing with LaLiga, with PFL, and with Karate Combat, which is on the starting roster. So bringing that sports side, pretty epic. And that's one of the reasons why I invested in GameOn. It's because they got the partnerships here already, and all they have to do is just get the fans, and you pretty much got an entire ecosystem cooking. So let's get started with this video. And also, to start this video and to make this more fun, we got Ron here. He's a big sports fan. Go boom. And Ron, I think you're a bigger sports fan than I am.
Yeah. In high school, primary school, I grew up with a sports background. I mean, you know me, I played national team for Hong Kong U18. So when I heard about GameOn onboarding LaLiga, I was like, Web3 project? There's a Web3 project
like onboard LaLiga?
And then I looked and it's like, wait, no, this is the LaLiga, right?
Yeah.
Real Madrid, FC Barcelona. It's a partnership that is huge.
And I think what's kind of interesting is how to bring them on. So they're bringing them on to build Web3 games, right? And obviously fantasy football, and really lends well to the whole NFT scene. So what they're describing is having NFTs for players and then being able to participate in individual sports and earning in that ecosystem as well. I mean, that's actually quite interesting. So this whole experience, I actually finished watching a whole entire interview with them, and I think something that really struck on, and I actually wrote this down on my notes, is that they're building from Web 2 first, right? And I think that's quite important to bring people onwards. I think that's the right philosophy for this, is to really engage with the fans, to get them playing. I mean, if you didn't know crypto, right? If you're just a sports guy, you wouldn't want to touch crypto at the start.
Yeah, because I never even heard of it. Like, what does that have to do with me?
Yeah, you don't want to do wallets, but you want to play fantasy football.
Yeah.
Right? You want to get your teams, you like your players, you've done your research. And I mean, the amount of research you have to do with this is like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But you've done your research, you want to go, so logging into a mobile app game, much easier. But the game is launching very soon in June. I would say, obviously, you know me when I say anything with launches and stuff, I would say give it a month or two to get everything in motion. But once this is on, just think of how many people they can bring. I know it's lame. Okay, I was talking to Ron beforehand. Like, you should never talk about like player bases, fan sizes, etc. But I just wanted to throw this in for just like pure data and size scale, right? La Liga has 146 million followers. Like, it's like getting entirety of like the soccer world playing this, right? So being onboarding people is just like fast, and they flexed some numbers in that interview. I heard, when they were trying to drive up numbers, and even without La Liga tweeting, they got say 80 people in like 2 weeks to join their socials, which is actually quite insane. So getting them on board, getting them onto the NFT trading scene, because you can trade. It's much easier to trade like people rather than trade pictures. Although pictures are doing pretty well right now with memes.
Like, it's so natural, right? Fantasy sports and NFT technology.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I had, and I feel like this is the size that can on board. Now, what's also quite interesting is it's built on Arbitrum. They already secured a grant with Arbitrum, which is quite interesting. So yet again, it's like validation on the crypto side that, okay, look, they can make things work. And in many ways, I feel like Arbitrum needs them. Right? Why? Is because they know that Arbitrum team knows that GameOn can bring on users, right? And Arbitrum needs transactions. Right now, we know that Arbitrum, they got TVL, right? But they need something a bit more than TVL. They need that NFT trading. They need to get this whole thing in motion. So they built pretty much everything. And the grant size was not small. It was basically they got a grant from Arbitrum Foundation to build this, to make this work. And I feel like this is the foresight, right? This is a big score by Arbitrum to get LaLiga there. And then, of course, NFT trading, baby. NFT trading. Now, everything in their ecosystem needs the native token, which is called Game. So Game is going to be used and part of the ecosystem to trade, to play these games, to be able to participate in the fantasy football and everything there. So that's kind of what the Game token is about. And I actually see quite a huge future in terms of development there. I feel like this is the lineup. And then, full disclosure, I did talk to them during Dubai, and they actually know quite a lot of, like, they're very deeply involved in the sports scene. Like, their whole community is like there. And then
yeah, I mean, it's already a giveaway if you have LaLiga on, so you know they have connections.
They have the connections. So I actually expect a huge kind of like onboarding of a lot of people here, new people into this space.
I'm very excited if they actually manage to onboard NBA, right, or NFL. And they also talk about in their game player interoperability. So what if an NBA player, you get to select that player and have him in an NFL game?
So interoperability, the word has been thrown around in gaming a lot. But I feel like what applies and what's interesting is relevant interoperability, right? Because you don't just have one game. Let's say, for example, you can have like a fantasy sports game, but you can also have maybe a kind of a Team Fortress Tactics, but with soccer players, right? Like, I feel like if it's just in the same genre, but there's multiple different types of games, and you have interoperable NFTs, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right. Here's a good example, right? So FIFA has a game, all right? It's an EA game, FIFA, right? But there's also a Football Manager. If these two games made by two different companies, if they can have interoperable NFTs, this will be very interesting.
Yeah.
Right? And this is why NFTs actually work when it comes to sports, because there's multiple games. And I'm not saying that right now, I'm not saying that GameOn's partner with this, right? But you can see the potential here. There's multiple different. I believe that more. Like I don't think and like if you can fit like soccer players into the basketball league, that doesn't work, right? But I feel like there's multiple games in this ecosystem, but if they can share the same NFT, I think that's where the power comes in. I feel like that's one underdeveloped concept. So I feel like that's somewhere they can definitely go with this. So we know like the strongest part is they have partnerships and have tech. I think that's the kind of the two biggest selling points of GameOn, which is clearly at the partnerships, and then clearly they have the validation from the Arbitrum Foundation to say, hey, your tech works.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of call to action, guys, for this. So first and foremost, they're launching their token on a lot of tier 1 exchanges. Full details coming, of course, because like they're being a little bit mysterious, but this is going to be available like across all the tier 1 exchanges. That's going to be launching on June 3rd. On that week as well, I definitely recommend that you guys come and just follow their Twitter, because they're going to do a lot of spaces. We're going to join them on as well, but one thing that's key to pay attention to here is how they can bring more people into the crypto space. Why tier 1 exchanges are accepting and gladly welcoming LaLiga on is because they know that they can bring a new audience into crypto. And that's not just important for the tier 1 exchanges, but also important for the whole entire ecosystem as well. So pay attention next week, guys, on and follow their Twitter. So guys, overall, right, I think at the end of the day, you guys know, like, I don't really need to say much here, right? 3 huge teams. This one, biggest, I would say. These two, actually, the MMA PFL is actually the second one, largest
MMA league.
So, guys, huge audience, huge impact, coming soon. I'm really excited for this. And guys, what do you guys think about this whole thing? Tell me in comments below. With that, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. See you next time.
See you next time.
Peace.